Colossus.
But
I
is
guess
he safe here?
Yes, I don't know. Ooh, I like what you did there. That was good. We're going to go to Kairos Junction and then GSL Cobalt, and if we have a third map, Turbo Cruise 84. Our game is loading up. Innovation, the last Terran in the GSL against Stats, one of the greatest Protosses of all time. Let's go! Right now!
게임이 시작됩니다.
Reciprocity, innovation.
Go, Terran, go! Go, Terran!
Splice, stats.
Oh, how dare you play Protoss?
Right. Do you think that Innovation will do it, Tasteless?
I think so.
I do
yeah,
too.
I do, because of how they played earlier on.
Yeah, he looked way better.
I mean, it was actually kind of weird how Stats lost in that series. Like he got
He's not impressive
so
this year.
smashed. Yeah, he's just. I'm starting to wonder if I'm gonna have to really kind of.
He was the second best player last year to Cyril, and
yeah.
this year he's not even in the running.
Yeah, he's getting smashed by a lot of other players.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Unfortunately, no, he's not. Thing is, he's been an amazing player. I feel like if he can adjust the mistakes he made in his PVT, he's got a shot. I just, based off the games we already saw, though, I think Innovation's just in such good shape. Wow. Demon probe over here.
Yeah, it's putting a lot of damage
It's a
out.
StarCraft 1 probe. And looks like the Reaper's going to be out shortly here. We're going to wait and see when the Cybernetics core finishes what the exact tech is going to be. But Stats is getting a quick expand up. You know, Stats is a player that tends to want to just kind of defend the first few couple of attacks, and then, you know, he'll be ahead in some way. He'll have a better late game composition, probably another expansion over his opponent and win there. In Innovation, he's kind of like, what would you call it? Like his games look like he's slowly winning an arm wrestling match. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, he just, over time, he's mechanically so good, he never misses a beat with production. He's very strong pushes, and, you know, he kind of, over time, whittles away the opposing player until there's just nothing left, and his army gets to march in there and destroy all the structures.
Well, I think that you described what they looked like most of the time, but so far today, the way that Stats has looked has not been like that. Like he hasn't made really the right moves. Nothing's looked super strong or super good defensively.
So what we saw in the first series, guys, and this has been sort of a theme in TVP, Terrans tech out a Raven, and if you see Colossus tech, for instance, you go in there and try to disable that. Now this time around, we're seeing Twilight Council coming here. So certainly the possibility of a Blink being used here.
Yeah, it's certainly for Blink. And, you know, that's a good opener. You can use it offensively or defensively.
Right.
And we'll see what he wants to do with it. But, you know, even the game where he opened up with Twilight before, he didn't really find damage when he went across the map. He didn't really defend well with it. You didn't see the drop coming with the Widow Mines. And he had a hard time in that way. Let's see what he wants to do, though, right? The gates are finishing up. Blink is not very far along, but he's getting his robo. They should not do anything too weird.
Yeah, this is Stats playing in a very Stats-esque way. Again, the Reaper continuing to come in here and just get a few pokes, getting a little bit of free intel.
A great scout right there.
One less scan you have to do to confirm what the tech is here.
Knows exactly what's up. Knows that it's Blink and 3 gates in a robo. So that's basically everything. Now we can see exactly what Innovation likes to do against that.
Now, with all this, you know, that we've said he's scouted, this is kind of, for the Protoss, one of those builds where you can kind of, your opponent can know what's happening and you don't really just easy mode counter it, you know? I mean, the opposite kind of a build of this would be like a DT rush, where it's like if you know the DTs are coming, then you're going to stop them.
Yes. Yeah, this build plays out into whatever you want, kind of, as a Protoss player. You can go Colossus after this, you can go Charge after this, you can double Forge, single Forge.
Uh-oh, he just moved the Stalkers out of the main. And I feel like this is very normal to have this timing with the Medevac come in here. He's going to be offensive with this. Now, keep in mind, the Widowmines are going to get some kills. Let's first wait and see, does he actually split the probes off? Immediate reaction there by Stats, so sick.
Yeah, very good on that.
Now, we want to watch on the other side of the map, because here's where the Stalkers are going to blink into the main and start taking shots. But already, Innovation's got his Marines right up there. And yeah, if he blinks in, he's going to lose everything.
You know, he timed that out very well based on the
he's going to kill the
Turbo
tank.
Cruise as well. Was he going to commit that hard? Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah.
Uses those 2 volleys, getting a couple SCVs as well. Just wasn't a lot of damage in that bunker. Wow, doesn't really lose anything.
How did he not lose one of those Stalkers? That was crazy.
Well, there's only 1 Marine in that bunker.
That's so crazy.
At the very end.
Now, the Widowmines were picked up during this, and so this Medevac's stuck up here in the upper left. And that's that.
Yep, that's just going to sit there for a very long time.
Yeah.
You'll probably be able to bring it out at some point.
Yeah, not sure about that one. Got to be careful when you're doing the Stalker harass, because that damage that the Stalkers are taking is permanent. Great snipe there on the... Oh, that was so good. Good job killing that Observer.
Yeah. All right, so that's good for Innovation at least. Stats exploding his gateways right now with that 1-1 in charge on the way. He has his 3rd base up. Innovation not yet starting his 3rd command center. This is very similar to what we saw before from him. Just kind of massing up. He will be starting his 3rd CC right there, though.
So as Innovation continues to power up, Stats having map control is going to expand out. And I think we're actually going to see this push here.
Yeah.
Bringing everything down.
Definitely.
The fact that that Observer got sniped off.
It's just kind of waiting
no
for
threat of...
Oh, sorry. Waiting for those 2 medevacs. But yeah, this is a push that we've already seen out of Innovation, right? So it's a little bit predictable. You kind of know it's coming. Stats is going to want to be warping a lot of Zealots at home.
And again, guys, Stats died pretty straightforwardly in the previous games. This push. So let's see if he's in better shape. The Raven is going to be used for disables here. We see that Stats is trying to get ready for this attack. We don't know if he's going to be completely equipped to take this on. He needs to get these rocks down so the siege tanks can't siege up behind them. He just barely pops those rocks down. But then Stats decides to just come in and move in anyways. Oh!
Okay, a decent split still, though. Here he goes, going to charge in on top of this Marine Marauder. Beautiful micro there by Innovation, really whittling it down.
I mean, Innovation's micro is so good here. A lot more of these tank shots continuing to damage those Stalkers in the back. There's just not enough over here in the front to take out the infantry that Innovation has. And now 1 Immortal goes down, the 2nd's being targeted. And I think this is the beginning of the end, possibly, with no Robotech. There's just no easy answer here. You know, Stalkers and Zealots, you can micro against them.
Oh, Innovation even coming in with a drop during all this. Really taking the multitasking of Stats to work right now. Continuing to push into this 3rd base. More Zealots being warped in. He's trying to find some way to hold on.
The Nexus is now out of shields. The tanks are so far back, there's no real way to get over there and take them out. So every time the Protoss tries to get close to the infantry, the artillery shells it down. Great kiting here as well. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame Stats for trying to fight further on here, but I think there's no way that he can recover, right?
It's hard. You know, he has his 2-2 on the way, so if he can somehow recover, if he can somehow eliminate this army, that might be a way for him to end up winning the game. But it seems impossible.
Yeah, it's that Innovation steady stream of units parading across the map, reinforcing perfectly. GG! Terran has won the first game. 1 more win, and we actually have a Terran in the round of 8.
Careful, Tasteless. You jinxed it with the Innovation Darks game after he won game 1.
I should never have wished that. I should never have wished that.
Is it real?
I should never have wished that victory on a Cursed Monkey's Paw, Artosis.
Never have done it. All right. So Innovation leads 1-0, looking to be the only Terran in the round of 8. When he wins, Tasteless, he's just going to shrug and say, Marhu?
Nice. Stats looking a little bit flustered. I mean, he's dying to these straightforward Terran pushes. We've seen him before. Other Protosses can fend him off. Stats is so far not the case. Now that means that Innovation's control in these is godlike. He knows exactly where to set the tanks up. He knows exactly when to dive in and when to run back. We're going to go to GSL Cobalt for game number 2. Innovation, the last Terran in the GSL, is 1 win away from moving on to the round of 8. Stats, if he loses here, his story is over for Season 2. And our game is now loaded up, so let's do this. Innovation for Stats continues
게임이
on.
시작됩니다.
Reciprocity. Innovation.
It's a very nice carpet you get in your starting location. Let's take a look at that nice carpet.
Splice. Stats.
You know, a longer game though, after the game, you're gonna take like the Nexus off, and there's gonna be a Nexus-shaped bright patch on it. You know,
That's true.
there's nothing you can do to fix that.
It was an antique, too. It's too bad.
Ooh, Stats gonna scout him first. That's a good strategy.
Good strategy to scout him first, yeah.
Scout your opponent first on a 4-player map.
I always try to scout him last. It doesn't work out that well for me.
I can teach you.
Yeah?
I can teach you how to always scout your opponent last.
Yeah.
And I promise you, more than half the time, they'll scout you first.
Wow.
I have the secrets. I'll show you after
Show
the
me
show.
the way. Now, the probe coming in here, in all seriousness, guys, when you get a quick scout on a 4-player map, that's a pretty big deal. Seeing, you know, just what the starting points of the build are is very, very helpful for you reacting and responding to what your opponent's doing.
And just runs the probe away. We'll continue to harass with it. Innovation. Scouting in completely the wrong direction. He checks the center for a proxy first, then goes towards the bottom right.
Oh, no.
So that's about as bad as you can get as far as his scouting goes. And then the question becomes like, oh, did he check me from the top left, or did he do something dumb like a cross-map scout? Which can occur on a 4-player map. Sometimes you cross-map scout because you have a different type of strategy or something for cross positions because they are further, they play out differently.
Probe's going to come in again, try to just get this SCV that's making the command center being annoying. And let's see if there's any kind of dramatic tech here from Stats. I mean, in the last game, he's been doing this throughout the series. He kind of just, it's very modest. You know, he gets the Stalkers out. He uses that as a pin, techs up. This time he had Immortals out. In other games, he had Colossi out. But either way, Innovation just pushes across the map and wins. We have also seen on this map specifically hidden bases used. Like in this case, it'd be somewhere in the bottom.
Yeah.
This map is so huge. If you hide a base in the bottom, there's a chance because they're both sharing the top that nobody, well, not nobody, the other player doesn't scout that.
Yeah, it's so far away. It's so hard to actually scout those. You know, now that I think about it, all of our games, they've been spawning on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Map must be broken.
Okay, nice harass here. I mean, this is, he's slowly shaving away. Oh, great control here. Again, Stalker's going to win this fight.
Yeah, it certainly does.
It starts to add up. You know, you're trying to increment out all that infantry there. And here comes that first Widow Mine.
A lot of damage, though. Look at all those kills.
Look at that.
4 kills.
Great start for Stats here.
Jeez.
We have the robotic support bay coming in here.
Very worthwhile. Doubles what his opponent killed.
Meanwhile, we got gateways coming down now as the Robotech begins to unfold.
All right, well, that's a very defensive play there from Stats after his nice little pressure in the early game. Innovation seems to be going for that same type of strategy that we've seen pretty much all day from him. I mean, it's definitely worked out for him so far.
Okay, here comes that initial medevac drop with the 2 Widow Mines. It is spotted by the Observer. The Observer Scout path is basically the same path you're going to take to get the medevac over there. It'd be way too long to go around. And there's a second Observer ready here. So, I mean, realistically, Stats should be completely and totally
Yeah.
prepared for this.
And he has been
Wow.
basically every time, and Innovation just turns around immediately.
Now, one thing that we've started to notice, I think specifically today, was that because some players will send their stalkers across the map and try to blink in, and for instance, in the last game he killed a tank, sending the medevac across the map, if you don't see any stalkers there, first of all, you A, know you're about to be attacked, but then B, you know you can go in there with the Widow Mine. So it's smart to kind of send that out every time, just so you have, at least options as the game is moving forward. And you can see actually the way Stats is defending this. Sometimes you'll see the stalkers more towards the center of the main because you want to bait the medevac into actually flying in, so you can then run under it and try to shoot things down when they're unloading. In this case, he doesn't even want to deal with the possibility of a drop, so he keeps the stalkers on the very edge of his base.
He just wants them to stay out. And you know what? It kind of makes sense. He's just doing a very defensive macro build either way. So Innovation going to go ahead, just drop those 2 mines out, maybe repair that medevac up a bit, continue on his macroing path. We'll see if he pops out a Raven here next. Because if he's going to do that same type of push, that's going to have to come up very, very soon.
For him, I would imagine there's no reason to not keep doing that same kind of push. He keeps winning with it.
Oh, he already has a Raven. I'm sorry. Silly me.
Yeah, so when he can come out on the map here, all he's got to do is try to disable this. I can see Shine already pointing out, our observer Shine here, guys, pointing out that those rocks are probably going to be torn down as he's going to try to eventually attack in here.
Well, this is the attack that killed Stats straight up on King's Cove, the one that we will be seeing.
I like that. He's just... Remember that the Raven is used to disable the Robotech, so there was he didn't actually complete the action, but he thought about chucking an auto turret down there and trying to kill the Observer. Because if you're controlling the Robotech, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to kill their Observers, because they usually have to remake the Observer, right? Well, then that's not a Colossus, that's not an Immortal, that's not a War Prism. And look at this!
Wow, he's actually doing a very different strategy here.
Yeah. Although I think the stats, it looks like it did to us just a little bit ago.
This is... He's flying over an Observer, unfortunately.
Okay, the Colossi are headed up here. The Stalkers retreating, and they're going to have to meet up with the Colossi.
All right, this is a scary little army here. If he does disable these Colossi, maybe he can still get damage done, but it shouldn't be a free win like we saw on the King's Cove.
Yeah, well, this is just, I don't know if there's enough infantry or anything here.
Yeah.
The idea was pretty neat, but it didn't really do much.
Huh. Okay. Well, he's just getting into his own third command center anyways during all this, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. He doesn't see the third yet, but you don't actually have to see the third to know it's there. There's no situation in which he wouldn't have a third base.
Do you just mix it up and do a push now?
As Innovation?
Yeah. You yourselves finishing and
2 disables.
I guess, yeah, the Raven energy is too low. You're right.
You'll have at least 1 disable when you push. Oh, okay. He's going to do a 2-prong, like a drop in the main after he pokes into the third. He's looking for units to be grossly out of position here.
Even if the Colossus can, walk over high ledges, it's not actually a very fast unit.
No, it's quite
so
slow.
if he can basically hit wherever the Colossi are not, he's in good shape. Unfortunately, there's enough Stalkers to stop the drop, and the Colossi are in the spot. Oh no, and he's sieging.
Oh, this is brutal.
Oh my god, he's lost all his tanks.
Destroyed.
Oh, I think all of a sudden Innovation's made this game very, very difficult for him to ever...
More than enough
get a
units in
victory.
every location.
Yeah.
Did he lose a medevac as well? It looks like he did.
Yeah, at least one there.
Yeah, because he had 2 medevacs up at the top.
Well, I actually think Stats could possibly just walk across the map and smash the Terran's third, right?
It's definitely a possibility. I guess there's enough Vikings here that maybe he has to wait for his Stalkers, but Stats is in a commanding position now. Innovation tried to get a little bit cheeky, and it absolutely did not work. Yeah, this push coming up, I don't think you can hold this.
Yeah, I think Terran just dies, right?
Well, let's see. Nice
pickups.
Yeah, very good pickups. And the Vikings trying to do what they can, but the Prism really negating a lot of that as well.
It looks like we should be getting this game tied up here. Innovation really came out with some cool play there, but Stats shut it down. Stats is known for having excellent defense. I think it actually would have been better for Innovation to just try the same build again.
Yeah, the full
same
frontal
style.
push, maybe
Yeah.
that would have done a better job, because then he has his Siege Tanks with him and everything. He didn't lose any Siege Tanks this game either. Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I see what he was going for, but there was an observer in siege mode there the entire time, which kind of like made it very easy for Stats to see what was coming and to counter it. Okay, our last map going to be Turbo Cruise. Innovation did win this against Stats before, of course. Kind of a weird game. He did get 9 kills with his Widowmine drop. Let's not forget.
That's right. All right, this is the last game, the round of 16, guys. Either Innovation, the only Terran left in the GSL, moves on, or Stats, another Protoss, goes to the round of 8. Who's going to take it, Artosis?
Innovation.
Innovation. My man Innovation's got this. Let's see if we can get a Terran to move on. Our game is loaded up. Let's go.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Reciprocity. Innovation.
And Juan was like 1 map for making it too, right?
Yeah.
So if 2 Terrans come super close within a map of making it, I think that's basically the same as a Terran.
Splice.
Yeah.
Stats.
We don't get to see Terran play anymore, but like let's just call it 7 or 6 Protoss, 2 Zergs, and a Terran.
The cast is half full with us, Artosis. All right. See that, guys? The green bubbles slow you down. Important feature on this map. Watch. Oh, okay.
And see that little blue arrow thing? That one speeds you up like a race car video game.
Yeah. You run a motorcycle down that as you travel through time.
Sight bike. Great game.
Yeah.
Great game.
That was a good game, actually.
Yeah, it was fun back then. Now you play it. I actually played it recently.
What, it sucks?
It
doesn't hold up?
It doesn't hold up as well because you actually are only just going forward and it's pretty simple. Like back then, it was like really
Graphics are
cool.
bad.
No, the graphics are amazing.
Oh, yeah?
I love the graphics. Don't ever change Excite Bike.
You know, one that doesn't hold up that was a classic was the GoldenEye game on Nintendo 64. It's like unplayable.
Nintendo 64 games, I think, is what you meant to say.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Those weird cubey everything is like, yeah, it's weird.
It's actually weird to look back and think that we thought those graphics were good.
They were amazing back then.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
really actually were.
Yeah. We were basically cave people back then.
Dude, I remember the day my brother got the Nintendo 64. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
These
Yeah.
graphics are crazy.
No, yeah. If you got that like on Christmas, you're sitting there going, my life is going to change now.
Yeah.
Everything is like, things are
It
so much
did.
better. I can't believe it's real.
Yeah. I'm like so excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play Quest 64. It's gonna be so good. And then you're like, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
to
that was a bad one. That was a baddie. Okay.
This is Turbo Cruise 84-bit system. What does that look like?
Ugh. Yeah, remember when they used to do bits too?
Do they not do that anymore?
I don't think anybody cares. Well, no, I mean, I don't.
Well, they call stuff like 4K, right? That's bits, right?
I think you're wrong, but
You think I'm wrong?
I also.
Well, now
don't
I'm
know
actually even more sure of myself. Thank you very much.
Now, we've got a robo build again here. And we're going to see if Innovation does the straightforward push that comes out and tries to disable. He did some fancy stuff. I think he kind of out-fancied himself in that game. Game 2. I think
Yeah.
it was unnecessary and a little bit too risky, and I think he probably should have played more solid and straight up.
He was too fancy, you're right. You can't play StarCraft with both your pinkies out. You can't play StarCraft with a salad fork, okay?
That's right. Got to play with like a common man.
With your hands.
That's
you gotta play
right.
with your hands like a savage.
Well, there's those 2 medevacs. I'm sorry, the 2 Widow Mines. Let's see if the medevac take it. What he can actually do to try to get that. The Scouting Reaper's finally been killed off, too.
Yeah, here comes that Colossus tech once again. Stats just wants to live. That's all.
Yeah, he's choosing life.
But will life choose him?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Now, on this map, it's much less clear where the medevac is going to go, so the odds of an observer just catching it, even though he should probably know this is coming. Okay, I was going to say, don't siege up there, crazy guy. Oh, he's like, look at me, tasted something crazy. What are you going to do about it? I'm like, whoa, hold on. Sorry, man.
He's just popping the edges of his vision a little bit, seeing what's going on. Didn't see the single racks of that, though. Nor the third.
Here comes that medevac. Now, there is a spotter pylon here to spot this.
Yeah, sees it coming. He has his stalkers ready. I feel like we're watching almost the exact same game over and over with slightly different mid games.
Yeah.
Like that he is going Colossus tech again. Raven's going to be popping out here. Innovation with the same plays.
These almost look like practice games.
Yes.
You know?
Well, this is actually both of their styles generally, and this is what they're falling into as, you know, everything's on the line. Whereas, you know, you might get a different player has a completely different reaction to everything being on the line.
Yeah.
Where you just get completely aggressive or something, right? But yeah, they're both falling back on this. They both think that their best chance to win is to play as standard as possible, to just nail it out. This is what they practiced. Which is fair, you know? That is where they're strong. But against each other, someone has to be wrong. Right?
I think so.
No one's putting any pressure on, really. Well, Innovation will be the first, of course, to do that.
Yep. He's got the Raven out.
I think he's actually maybe hunting for observers here.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. He's trying to fly around. He's looking, and the actual observer is hidden right over
that's
here.
Funny.
Now, is he actually going to spot it? Okay, so this is the standard push, guys, that we saw before. The one that kept killing stats here. No fanciness, no picking up his whole army and trying to drop in the main. He has, like he did in the other games, he has one medevac that will drop in the main, not all of his medevacs. Oh, is he not going to push? Is he just going to take his third and wait?
Well, the push timing is not quite exactly here, right? See the +1 attack? That's going to be the last upgrade.
Yeah.
So he needs that right when the engagement happens. And they're actually pretty close right now to each other.
By the
Their
way,
armies are close.
Stats has his Colossi further out on the map.
Yes.
So he wants to bait out those disables and then run for it.
That is exactly what we were talking about before. If he gets any swipes off on the Marines, he can kill quite a few of them. Okay, so see, he's trying not to use disables here. He pushes stats back, but stats should walk forward again. Don't want to be too far back.
Looks like he's ready for this.
It's a Terran carrier right there. Watch out.
Okay, so he now unloads over here. Terran sieged up not far from this little green circle. I think that Innovation's going to try to just attack in with his small army. You know, oh wow, Stats is just kind of ready for everything.
You know, this little poke by Innovation, though, I like what he's doing with the pokes, and he's getting his third up. I don't know about that right-hand side army, though. I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Here we
should
go.
have enough disables, though, yeah.
Okay, he does it. He's going to dive in.
Oh, my God. Here we go. He has a long time until those disables are done. He's starting to pick off Colossi. One goes down. The second gets picked off as well. Sieges the tanks. Targeting on that Colossi.
Yep. Looks like he just micros that out of range here. It's still two Colossi. The angling here pretty good for them, too.
Oh my God, did he actually kill that extra Colossus? Yes, he did. Only one Colossus left over. All right, Innovation's push working out a bit.
The probes coming in here in the front to try to block. Just one Colossus and a few Stalkers.
Oh my God. Okay, so Innovation going to retreat now, but he ended up killing 3 Colossus there.
Yes.
Killed some probes as well. He's got his third base up and ready. It's mining. And the game is going to go longer now.
Yeah.
I would say that was pretty effective. Like, if you can reduce the Colossus count like that, that's buying him quite a bit of time now.
Yeah, for sure. And let's also keep in mind, though, that Stats survived that, Artosis. The game is going on.
Yeah.
Innovation has to continue to tech up. And I mean, this is sort of the way we see Stats win when he wins games, is he usually holds off a few attacks, then he gets that lead, and then he just sort of closes it out. He'll paint the opponent into a corner.
Okay, so Ghosts coming out here for Innovation. Stats just kind of continuing to upgrade. We do not see a Templar Archives yet. So, oh, no, yes we do actually. He's getting Psystorm. Never mind. So I was going to say, that's a little bit scary if you're not teching into your second form of Splash. These things can go very wrong at that point, especially if you don't have Double Forge. Innovation, actually, yeah, he's not getting any more upgrades, is he? He's got his 1-1. I don't know if he made his armory, so we might just see him do like very strong attacks till the game ends.
Yeah, that would at least be in line with what we know of Innovation here. Stats, though, crossing his T's and dotting his I's.
Here we go.
Innovation's pulled his SCVs. One ghost in the back here.
Yeah, pulling the boys.
Vikings coming in to counter the Colossi. Meanwhile, a Warp Prism is going to go into the natural.
Well, I think the Warp Prism is not really mattering all that much. He's just got to do it
Oh
right
my God.
now.
The EMP there on the Templar was huge.
Oh, he disables a Colossus as well, so the attack starts out well. Some SCVs getting up here to the front, picks off one of the Colossus. The other one is going to go down as well. Innovation looking like he might be able to do it. A lot of SCVs dying, but mostly in the actual army. Lands these Vikings, and he is going to wipe out this third base.
Innovation tearing through this. R1 Terran in the GSL. We'll move on to the final 8.
GG is called, and Stats is eliminated. Another disappointing season for him. But Innovation finally, after a while here, back in that round of 8. And man, does that feel right.
The human race lives on in the GSL. Innovation with great play, playing exactly what's always given him his success. Stats, this has been a devastating year for him, Artosis. He's just not been able to deliver.
Yeah, he seemed like the Korean hope this year.
Yeah.
You know, if we were going to take down Cyril, it
Now
was
he's
going to be him.
Korean nope.
Ooh, that's brutal. Stats is a nice guy. You say you're sorry.
Sorry, that was mean. We're going to have an